Hello, I am late. Hi, everybody. So I'm here. I'm late because I had to go grab me this chocolate bar that was screaming at me. Who's having chocolate fits right now? I am. No, it hasn't started because I went and grabbed this candy bar and started eating it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be alive. So I got candy in my mouth. So I'll get this chewed. And I want to run over and grab the cutting guide for you all. And I'm going to put this in the comments. And then we'll get started. So for this beautiful, beautiful collection, you're going to be able to make a wedding album of any color. And that's what I love about this. This one is the finished one for my son, who's using the green. So I did a walkthrough. We'll be doing the spine. Now the spine, we won't be doing it. That's about the last thing we're going to do. We will make the cover today. So this is good. I thought it'd be really fun since we have some time on our hands. Good morning. Yes, Quarantine Scrapping Buddies. Great name, Donna. So I thought, let's do a big project. And what we're going to do is the cover today, and we'll map the cover. We're not going to do any of the decorations because we want to be able to work on it. We're going to create the spine, and we will create the pages. This camera. But this will take us about 2 or 3 weeks. Each week, I'll post the cutting guide over on Everything Authentique. That's our sister group to Authentique. But it's beautiful. You can add any colors you want with it. I'll be doing the one that we're doing today in the pink and burgundy. And so let me show you that. Put this one out of the way. And if you haven't seen the new Timeless collection, it's amazing. Oh, well, I hope it doesn't freak out on you, Jennifer. The new Timeless collection, the wedding collection, is adorable. And I do suggest that you get the collection pack and the collection kit. You might want 2 collection paper pads because you get extra cut aparts. And the cut aparts are just really what draws you in. Look at this. So adorable. So you've got a lot of dedication to bride and to the groom. And that's really how I broke this album down. And like I said, during the walkthrough, I show, so I'll go really quick. So this is just the beginning of our wedding. This is all to the bride. This is going to be for the groom, dedicated for our groom. This is the ceremony section. Then we have the wedding cake, and we have reception. That's what you call it. More, for the wedding cake. And these we'll be doing as we move through the week. So I'm thinking about 3 weeks. And then we have, as we are leaving, and, we're saying our goodbyes at the wedding, and you have plenty of room then to really throw things in there that you missed during the wedding, and then the wedding party. So that is how I broke this down. Oh, well, you know what, Jan? With homeschooling, you could really do a project with your paper crafts. Really good time to get those little ones into this. And sorry, I just need to answer this. We have, as you know, Utah had a nice earthquake. Hi, Vanessa. And then last night, Idaho, which I'm really close to, we felt the 6.5. So I just have someone message me saying that they're okay. And everybody's doing good. And we have, like I said, I'm going to be using the burgundy. And I did put the cutting guide up. So I'm going to be doing a burgundy and a pink. And I did the front cover, just matted it so that we could move a little faster. So my wedding colors were burgundy and pinks. So this is going to look really great with the burgundy and pink. Great time to get your flowers out of the stash that's going to match. But we'll go through all of this. This is the matting for the back, so I can give you the sizes as we go. But we're going to start by wrapping our chipboard. Cutting guide shows you need 2 sheets of chipboard that are 9 by 9. It's not a small album. So these are 9 by 9. This one's ready. And then you want a spine piece that's 2 5/8, and I did go 2 5/8. I just wanted that extra room. So 2 5/8 by 9. And to get started, you're going to want the cardstock to wrap. Let's see. Vanessa said the cutting guide has a tiny error. Oh, cardstock to wrap, 5 5/5. Yeah, it's not 5 5/5. Is that what you meant, Vanessa? Let me fix that now. So if you see the cardstock to wrap, that I think is the tiny error. Yeah, it's 5 5/8. Thank you, Vanessa. I can't fix that right now, but I can in a little bit. So 2 sheets of cardstock, 11 by 11. And this is where the error is. Thank you for pointing that out. So this is the piece to wrap our spine piece with. And it's 5 5/8. Cutting guide is wrong. By 11. And if you ended up cutting at 5 5/5, you're going to still be okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because to be honest with you, in 16ths, you should be able. It'll be close. But if you did cut it, don't fret. Don't go cut another one. You're going to be just fine. I'm cutting it bigger because I have shown in a past tutorial, it's always better to have it a little extra on your guys here. I'm going to go ahead and prepare my chipboard. Hi, Vicki. So you can use anything you like. I use the score tape sheets. It just makes it really fast and fun because you don't have to sit here and use your whole roll of score tape. You just use 1 sheet of 8 1/2 by 11. And we'll trim that right off. Hello, Raven. How are you? And thank you, Vanessa, for letting me know. I'll fix that right after. And then I'm just going to lay this piece down here. Or you can use a 1/4 inch if you want. Hello, see? For there, that's exactly what I'll do. Put this back on. We'll use that for something else in the future. And you want to do this to, of course, both of your chipboards. Super simple. And I did that with my spine piece. Make sure it's all down good and tight. So whatever you want to use will work. You can use your wet adhesive or the dry adhesive. The cutting guide is also on Authentique. I put it up there with the video. So if you are on the Authentique page, it will show you that the cutting guide is in the description. So you can definitely access that. I'm just gonna, yeah, it's there. I just checked. Okay, let's start with our first sheet of cardstock. That's 11 by 11. And the reason it's 11 by 11, we want the inch all the way around. Hi, Tanya. So my inch spacers right here on my scoreboard work good. And you certainly can wrap your albums any way you want. Hi, Trisha. You can use any wrapping method you want. It will work. This is just my preferred way. It goes faster. They lay flat. I really like that they lay flat. And when you're doing a spine like we're going to be doing, at the end of the tutorial, it lays flat, so it makes it so much easier to work on. Get everything out of the way, because once it sticks to this, it's stuck permanent. You don't want that. Hello, Crystal. Oh no, you've got company. Hi, Wendy. So that one's done and ready. Let's do our second piece. So we're all on camera here. And the burgundy is the artisan linen. And I'm telling you, any color will look stunning with this. The black, craft, ivory, green, whatever your wedding pictures are, even the gray. Our little mister, he's asleep. You know, ever since he was a baby, it's Wilbur's nap time about now. So that's kind of why I changed the class to 11. It really helps that he's not running around howling. Okay. And then your spine piece. Now your spine piece is more than an inch on each side. I like to have more, I have found out, so that's why I let you guys know. When you have that 1.5 inches, it gives it more coverage in the center. So I cut my chipboard spacer at 1.5. And then I'll just place my 1 inch at the top, because we still only need 1 inch at the top and the bottom. Oh, 2 weeks of no crafting. Now I would go nuts. Hi, Anne. I would definitely go crazy. Yeah, no, I can't go. You know what? I tell myself, today's a good day. I've been crafting all week. I'm going to go ahead and clean house today. No, I can't take it. Bagel and Journey are doing good. If you miss hearing Wilbur howl, come to my house, Trisha. This is his quiet moment for the day. And then I just put my spacers away until they wear out. And I'll cut new ones. Hello, Celeste. Okay, so let's start with our spine piece. All we want to do is those top inches is where I'm going to start. I'm using my bone folder. And our edges. And if your cardstock will handle it, make sure you burnish that. Hello, Nick. You know, crafting is a great arts and craft class if you have ones home that you're homeschooling, because you can work right with them. Okay, after I do that side, what I do is I take it and bend it forward. Our 1.5 inch, because you want to kind of smooth out and clean up that score line. And we are going to bend it backwards here in just a second. And we're going to burnish it again, because we want, this is a hinge. You want to make sure it's going to move nice backwards, so that your chipboard is facing upwards. Sometimes the messages don't update and you do have to scroll, Jan. So once you're at that point, grab my score tape and our scissors, and we want to cut diagonally on the corner. So I'll cut the first one so you can see if you've never done this before. Just from this corner to that corner. Same thing, just start at the top. That's what that will look like. Let's do the bottom. Now I'm going to apply score tape and art glitter glue, but stay away from about 1/8 of an inch away from that chipboard. We want to get the glue there and go ahead and do both sides. You can do that before you cut. I didn't want to cut it first because I wanted you to be able to see where I was cutting and then just trim it off. Yes, and we'll have more Timeless in also. We have shipments coming every single day of everything. Okay, let's go ahead and remove the backing. And I'm going to just grab my art glitter glue here. I just have to fix one thing on the computer at the top that I forgot about. There we go. All better. Okay. Art glitter glue, I'm going to put right on the edge of the chipboard. And right in that spot, it just makes it so it's extra hold. Oh, we have glue. Now, using a bone folder, we're just going to push it on the top. I use 2 bone folders. This one's quite blunt. It's the Fiskars, and it doesn't have any sharp edges, whereas my favorite one does. And I don't want to go through my cardstock, but I definitely want to really get on those edges. We want it nice and flat. Again, on the edge of the chipboard and right down the center. This is a big album. It is a big album, but when you do wedding albums, it's hi, Anne Marie. And wedding albums are one that I do go big. I will do big on a new baby. Most of them, I don't go this big because if you've ever tried to fill one of these albums, everybody asks, how many pictures will it hold? Trust me, it's going to hold probably more than you can take when you go through and find the ones that you really want to showcase. I did this with our December daily one year. Made it this big. I still haven't filled it from that year. I haven't got anything else to put in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry before we cut these corners again. So we're going to set that aside and work on our 2 big pieces, our front and back covers. We're going to do basically the same method. I just push against that chipboard and fold it over. Burnish that edge if your chipboard will handle it. Let's do the opposite side. Yes, one of the designs are bow ties. So we have lace. We have just a great background. We have plaid for the guys. Those are the bow ties. Love this one. Love this one. So you've got some great backgrounds. This is going to be great for your big ones and your small ones. Yes, usually wedding albums tend to be bigger. I've also gotten better at going through my photos and finding exactly what I want to showcase in the big album. Because you don't need to put everything in there. Okay. Now we have squares. We have just created by burnishing over our chipboard these squares that we're going to cut out. I'm cutting straight up to where you'll see your line will intersect if you fold it that way and burnish. And it is right up to the chipboard, but you're not going to have to worry. You're not going to have holes. Now there's a secret to this too. This is how, if you're making an album in a box or something like that, and you can turn this into the lid. So it has kind of dual purposes. After we cut the corners, we're just going to fold down one side. Use your chipboard as your scissor stopper and pivot it in, and you'll never lose that straight line. And you'll cut what is hanging over the edge of the chipboard, but you won't affect the main coverage, which is something we do when we're sewing also, when we miter our corners. Keep that straight line. Don't go like this or you're going to have holes. And then I need to do this side. Okay, all of our corners are done. Move that out of the way so we don't get it in our work. Now, this wedding album looks big, but you're going to find it's not going to take you forever to make. I did that album in less than 2.5 days. And I don't work on it all the time. It's just, I'm hoping that some of the methods that I show you kind of speed things up for you, because you're not having to fret over getting out separate tools, figuring out how to get things on straight. Everything should just kind of line up. You'll see with our pages. Now I'm going to remove our score tape backing on all sides. And this will be recorded. You can access this video anytime. It'll stay in all the Authentique page, and it will also stay on YouTube so that you'll be able to find it. And then Timeless, check with your local scrapbook stores. You may be able to do curbside pickup. And if not, just check out countrycraftcreations.com, because I have it in stock. In fact, they just sent me up another huge order, so we're way in stock. Anyway, art glitter glue on the chipboard. Make sure you're smushing it right up on that edge. It's going to make it nice and smooth. Hello, Sally. Yes, make sure you are watching the burnishing technique so you can teach your husband. Oh, happy anniversary, Trisha. It's her 53rd wedding anniversary tomorrow. Well, I wish I had this album done. I'd send it to you. Okay, Jimmy. I love it. Wives have husbands now in their craft rooms. I know but my husband has to work. It kind of bothers me, but my whole family has to work because he works for the Department of Defense. My sons work for the missile division. My other son, get this, he's a welder. He does the trailers for semi-trucks. And let me tell you what, their business now is booming. So he's got to make the semi-trailers so he can have food. My other daughter, they all work. They're in the hospitals. And so I wish I had mine home during the day watching me. Actually, no, I don't. Never mind. He would say, you craft too much. No, he never does. Okay, again, just smush that right up there. But also, please make sure you check with your local scrapbook stores. We got to help them out. This is a hard time for them and for all of them. And if they have curbside pickup, some of them don't even know maybe that you want it. Give them a call, see if you can get a hold of them. Don't hesitate to leave them a message and see, you know, what they're doing so that we can help them out. It helps keep everybody going. Yes, Vanessa, they are super busy. So that is, I'm very grateful because I know they have young families. So now that makes for your beautiful edges. Everything's nice and tight. We have to do our second piece. So I'm going to go a little bit faster since I know I kind of went fast there too. I apologize. But once it's recorded, you can go back and you can stop it and where you need to. Can't decide if it's too hot or too cold. Okay, let's cut out those corners. And all 4 of them. The cardstock comes from countrycraftcreations.com. It's our own brand in conjunction with Authentique. And it is, I use 38 sheets of cardstock. So you'll want 2 packs or you can buy some singles. And Authentique is doing a fabulous job keeping us supplied. So we have it coming in all the time. We are constantly, I forgot to cut my corners. Authentique is constantly getting it ordered for us. So it is in stock and it's linen. So you're not going to have the cracking issues that you're going to have with the regular. And I never suggest 110 pound because if it's not linen, it will crack. So let's do our corners. Unless you are lucky. And you can mix your colors. You don't have to do it all in one color. Those little pieces out of the way. Corners are all fixed. I can finish with this. And there are so many other great lines still. Don't forget with Authentique, now is a great time. If you're thinking of your pets, you want to get the purebred. Maybe make some special treats to send out. Authentique's purebred, if you haven't seen the pet line. Gorgeous. It is also on the Authentique blog. You can check that out. And if you're on Everything Authentique, you're going to see some of the designs that different people have made with it and posted. It's a really fun group. So you can see past collections, present collections, and you can also see Authentique's design team and what they post. And don't forget to run over and like the Authentique page. Show them lots of love because we love what they make for us. Okay, we're just going to repeat. And if I wasn't talking so much, see, in about 30 minutes, you can have a cover made. When you're not eating chocolate. So who has weddings this year? We had a surprise one come up. So I was actually kind of excited. We haven't had a wedding in the family for a while. Oops. And my soon-to-be new daughter-in-law loves anything handmade, and she loves anything with the retro and vintage authentic papers. It's her absolutely most favorite. Okay. Back to the hinge piece. We need to trim up these corners. Oh, yay, Pam. When's her wedding? So what I'm going to do is use my scissors and chipboard again. See, just pivot. You can't go past the chipboard if you push against your chipboard. And just cut an angle. Ours is in September, so I actually had time, but Authentique just had this paper and it was perfect, and so I couldn't wait to get started. And then after I made hers, I decided I need to make me one. Well, welcome. So again, using your chipboard, so you can't go any further than that chipboard. Just cut where it's going to let you. Yeah, Connie, I've noticed you've had quite a few weddings. And down. Now, one thing I like to check too, do I have that straight line with my chipboard? If you don't, take your scissors and just set it there, trim that corner. Again, trim that corner. That'll be a nice wedding. That one's fine, and it looks like this one's fine. Well, a little bit. And then it keeps it straight, and it keeps everything nice inside. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to the front, and again, with my blunt bone folder. Hi, Candace. Okay, so now they kind of stick up, and that's fine. We're going to add adhesive to these wings. I like to use both the art glitter glue and the score tape. I found the score tape gives it that, quick hold. It grabs, but it also keeps the glue, which gives it the permanent hold. It doesn't ooze up onto your spine, but you want to leave it about 1/8 of an inch from the edge here of the chipboard. And because this is wider, I am going to add 3 stripes of score tape. Then I'll do art glitter glue down the center. Well, I think we don't have any more babies until grandchildren have children, and that's going to be a little bit because I think my kids are all done. And that's okay because we have 11. Oh, yeah. That's hard when it comes to weddings and events. But they'll happen. They'll still happen. That's the nice thing. And we'll have those to look forward to as we move forward. Okay. This is going to seem weird, I know, but your cover is going to be, you're going to put it on upside down. When you put it on upside down, you get this look, but you're gonna love it because then your album will lay flat. I mean, it's flat. Oh, hi, Valerie. Well, thank you. My husband turns his hearing aid off when he's home. Of course, he's used to my voice. What can I say? And our glue. Just going to fine line down the center of those 2 score tapes. Remember, if you put it this way, it's wrong, and you're not going to be happy with yourself. So I'm just going to match the top, somewhat center it. Now, it might hang over just a hair on each end, and that's okay. It's going to, I mean, it looks that way, but it's not. Hope that makes sense. I'm just going to apply some pressure for a moment. I'm going to flip it over. Clean up any adhesive. This is my heavy duty bone folder because it's flat there and I can really grab it. And I am pushing hard. So Jimmy, if you're watching, burnish. He's one of our crafting husbands. And when you do that, you're going to see this chipboard's going to push down a little bit. Turn it around so I can repeat on this side. Now, when you turn it around, you're going to say, oh my gosh, one side looks, it's going to look that way. It's not. You're fine. I always do that. I freak out. This looks uneven, but when you fold it, everything just seems to line up. Like I said, the spine, we're not going to do for a bit. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Yes, we are all well so far at Utah, even though we're stay at home. Stores are closed. We are quite fortunate if we'd stop having earthquakes between here and Idaho. Okay, I'm going to match my top. I match this one to that one. So they're pretty symmetrical. No glue. Now see these extra long wings, extended it past this 1 inch. So it's not so bulky. This was the piece I did first. I'm just going to gently fold it. Give it a burnish. And there's your album cover. Now, it feels pretty, it does feel kind of. Nope, I don't use Tyvek. I think Tyvek is a preference. It's something that's unnecessary. Well, for me, it may not be to you. You might like it. It's an added expense. And it's also, I don't know. If your paper's going to tear, your paper's going to tear. Tyvek will do some reinforcing, but it's not going to stop your paper from tearing. I did an old video and showed that. But still, if you want to do that, absolutely. You do what you're comfortable with. We need to add a piece now here. And I've made hundreds of albums. So I'm going to use my ruler and just, I'd like to have now 1 inch extending from our pieces here. So about 8 inches. So I'm going to cut another piece of cardstock. And this was not in your cutting guide because I want you to measure to see where you want it. So it's going to be 8 inches and our album is 9 inches. So it's going to be 8 by 8 7/8. No gaps at all, Jan. No gaps at all. You do not have to use score tape. I find it grabs it quicker and it keeps the glue from oozing here. You don't have to. And yes, it's right up next to that edge. Oh, Jennifer, he did a good job. So 8 inches by 8 7/8. So I'll cut that one. Okay, that's going to fit right in the center. And once again, you can use your favorite adhesive. I'm going to use my score tape sheets. So remove the backing. Actually, let's go this way. And if you are using score tape, make sure you cover it so that nothing will fall inside of those folding spine pieces, because you don't want anything to get caught in there. I'm going to offset it just a little bit. I have to put my knife in a special place because I lost my cover. I don't want to cut my fingers. So let's go ahead and cut this by pushing your paper towards your blade to keep it tight. Don't throw this away. This is also great for your little one's stickers because they'll re-stick again. My granddaughters play with those and put their stickers on them so they can reuse them. Okay. And when you push your paper towards the blade, it gives you a little more control. Well, so far so good in Utah. We're doing great. I hope the rest of the world is. And I don't know about you, but I've kind of enjoyed my time inside. Okay. I'm going to grab my cover. And I do have some score tape here. I'm just going to pop it in my big cutter real quick and trim that. So I don't have anything sticking out the bottom, because these score tape sheets, you can cut them on your cutter. They're really, you can die cut them also. Now, when you do that, don't let go. Where it lands is where it stays. We're just going to place this across the center. Me too, Dina. Sleep, work, craft. Well, we're stay at home, Pam. Yeah, we're supposed to stay at home in Utah, and we're staying home. Now this goes across, and it doesn't bother me because I have Wilbur, my craft room. So I'm just going to center it, and down it goes. Yeah, we can, go outside but right now, even if we don't feel we should stay at home, we really should, just to help get through this. So now I'm just going to make sure all my edges are down. Now your blunt bone folder, because you don't want to go through those hinges. And we're just going to create now. And you're going to notice it's a lot more stiff. So depending on your cardstock, you might be able to, and you may not be able to push down. Yeah, that's what we're allowed out to. And basically right now, that's what we need to do. I don't know around the world, but I'm very, very, very fortunate for Utah. I know my daughter works in the labs. She says we've been having a 20%. They've been coming in with their 20, where they're supposed to be and below. So they're seeing tests here decrease in some areas. And the test coming back negative. And I thought that was just really great to hear. So, oh, let me clean up this side just a little bit more. Okay, now you definitely have a more strong album because we put that reinforcing piece in the center. And that is our album cover. And we're going to first decorate the outside. I like to do that now before I get all the pages done. And then we're going to create our spine and pages. So I did something I don't always do. I did a lot of double matting. Actually, yeah, I did double matting because I really want that burgundy and pink to show. Now on this one with the linen blue, this is the Navy cardstock. So I used a green, a mint green, and then navy blue again, and then the pattern paper, and front and back for her wedding album. So I'll give you all these sizes, and this one is one of the cut aparts. That's why I suggest the paper pad. With the paper pad, you get extra. You get extra of these cut aparts, and this one is my favorite design. I just love this one. So you've got your champagne glasses, the cake, the bridal bouquet, everything in there. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the sizes for the matting. And you don't have to double mat. If you just want to use the pattern paper, then I would cut it 8 7/8 by 8 7/8 because our cover is 9 by 9. But if you want that layered effect, my next piece is 8.5 by 8.5. And then my pattern paper is 8 by 8 or 8 1/8 by 8 1/8. And that's going to go right on top. And I am using a black ink. So I've already distressed the edges. I didn't do a lot of distressing. And I'm going to put these 3 pieces together first. And from my stash, I'll be getting in to all the flowers I haven't used over the years because I have some pink. And I'll be creating flowers like we did for the smaller wedding album. I did the brag books last week, and I made those flowers to go with it. I show how to do that. So I'll be using these on my cover along with some store-bought ones. Hi, Fern. So let's make sure our glue is spread out where it belongs. And like I mentioned, join us in the Everything Authentique. It's the sister group to the Authentique Paper Facebook page on Facebook. And I'll be giving the cutting guide for each week that we create our album. And right now, this is going to take us 3, maybe 4 classes. So it'll be our April project on Wednesdays. So many projects done for Christmas too. We can get these all done. So we want to center this as even as possible. When it looks good, just let go. Hi, Wendy. Oh, thank you. This is the first time in 36 years my pictures from my wedding will have a handmade home. They were in they're still in the photographer's book. So I'm excited to transfer these over when I get this one done. I've always made everybody else's albums but mine. Now, another thing I like to do on the album covers. So I may have one of my wedding invitations and I may do that. So you may see that. I'm going to put it, I like to put them on the covers as part of the embellishing. Now we're going to go ahead and put these on our covers. Like I said, the spine is the last thing we do at the very last tutorial. And I'll be showing you how to do the tied spine or the laced. Well, hello, Pamela. Yes, too many meetings. You need to be here in Authentique's class. So I'm going to be a little more generous and more coverage with my glue. So now you can see I have that burgundy, pink, burgundy going. And I just love it. So doing a black, pink, and burgundy would also be very pretty. Oh, burgundy and gold. Yeah, you know what? My wedding was supposed to be black, white, and red. But back when I got married in the 80s, my mother threw a fit. Nobody does that for their weddings. I'm like, yes, I do. But she wouldn't let me. And I was her only girl. So my soon-to-be husband at that time, she still loves him better than me. I tease her. He's like, let your mother have this one wish. Ah, no wonder she made me marry him. No. Just kidding. Okay, now let's make sure. Just like our wallpaper. Hi, Juanita. Thank you. Well, I love that you guys are here with me. And I love that so many from around the world can visit. And I hope everybody's doing well. I wanted red roses too, Cheryl. Yes, moms are that way. And I tried not to be that way with my daughter. But you know what? She ended up with gold and pink. And so she was able to use my wedding bouquet. We took it apart. So see, my mother knew best. She used my wedding stuff for her flower baskets. And so it was kind of awesome. Whoops. Might help if I remove my text. Oh, so the pink I am using is called a Pale Blossom. And I'll bet you have that in your stash. You know what I did? Just a minute and I'll show you. So I used embellishments of gold for and I'll show you those in a minute on the other album. I used a seam binding that has a gold color to it. I used actual gold dotted ribbon. You know, my husband only said, let your mother have this. Otherwise, he didn't care. He just told me what time to be at the church. I'm not kidding. Is that a farm boy for you or what? So I chose and put some gold on some flowers, and I used a gold ribbon, and I happened to have these gold leaves. So I used this that has kind of a gold. Just worked out perfect, I thought, for her gold. And then I used touches on the inside of some gold. And then I figured she can definitely add if she has anything that she wants to add. Or if she wants more, I can give her the gold. You can definitely go around these edges with a gold mousse. Would be beautiful on this paper. Okay, so when we work on the spine, even with our pages, see, we'll be able to do the lacing. You hope what goes through. Now let's create the spine, and we're going to create the pages. Now on the pages, we're going to create them, and I'm going to show you. I've already done all 5. I've done 3 of my pages. I'm going to do 2 with you. I'll show you how to put them on so that you don't have to wait till a while, till next week to put them on. I did not get the window glossy accented. I will do that. Unfortunately, my family needed dinner last night. I thought, how rude. So I will glossy accent the back of the car window tonight. Spine are your hinges. Okay, so your hinges are 7 inches by 8.5. So our album covers 9 by 9. So our pages are going to be 8.5 by 8.5. I know, very rude. So we want to start with the 7-inch at the top of our scoreboard. What you're going to do is you're just going to go 1/2 inch all the way across. Okay. And you're not going to push. Not going to push so hard to go through. I got to quit doing that. Yes, you are. Hi, Sheila. I'm glad you're here. So I need another piece because I went through my hinges. And I'll use that for one of our flaps. I'll cut that right off. So let's not score so hard, shall we? 1/2 inch, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, and 6.5. That's your last one. And that's what it's going to look like. Just 1/2 inch score lines all the way across. Renee, I totally agree. So it doesn't matter what side you start on. I'm just going to start here. I'm going to just fold that 1/2 inch over, burnish. And I'm going to fold that together. That becomes one set of hinges right here. We're going to glue those down. Then you have a 1/2 inch gusset. So we're going to go to this next set. We're going to skip it. I like to push against the paper. It keeps those score lines straight and using your thumb. And we're just going to create that second hinge. I made 2 of those last week. So if you go back, we made the mini brag books, and I made those for my daughter-in-law. She's already got them, so she can get her engagement pictures in them. Then you're going to have a gusset, so leave that alone and pinch these next 2 together. If you happen to just go along and do, yes, this is the way I'm now using. Nope, I don't keep a flap on that edge or anything because I'm leaving that space. That's why my hinge is 2 5/8. See, I have that 1/4 inch here. And I have, that 1/4 inch there, which gives me room to do some embellishing. I ended up kind of chunky because of these, so I won't be adding those, but they were so pretty with this. Her colors, I had to use it. But it still gave me the room with our hinge being 5/8 of an inch bigger. So I would suggest whatever size you decide, you make your hinge that 5/8, make it that 1/8 of an inch bigger. Then we have a gusset. So we want to pinch these 2 next ones together. That's what mine said too, Cheryl. That must have been something back then. He always called his a monkey suit. Then we have a gusset and the last 2 that we're going to bring together. And if you happen to score something, burnish something wrong, because the scoring is never going to be wrong. It's all just 1/2 inch. Just go back and refold things. I do that all the time. Okay, we have 5 hinges. Now we want to turn them into hinges. There's the back. I'm just going to add my adhesive now, which when it dries, it's like dried skin. Really burnish those down so that the glue is spread around. Hi, Catherine. We do, Cheryl. I've noticed that. That's so cool. It's amazing when we get to talking, even online. Facebook has opened a world of, which is actually good right now. We don't really have, we have a lot in common when we start talking to each other. And it's really great. It gives us that sense of familiarity with our crafters, and I love that. Remember, you need that gusset. So skip 1, and we're just going to fold these over. I am a heavy-handed burnisher. So I'm going to fold that back. And it's also going to help me keep my hinges straight. It's right there. It's hiding. So my next valley and my adhesive. Like I said, I take extra time here just to go across it a lot because I want to make sure those are together. Burnish it down. And you'll notice everything's just should be nice and straight. Get back here. Can't get a hold of it. Just open that out. And my last one. So it's right on the end. And let's just fold that back. And then you might have, you see how that's just a little bit off. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't feel like you have to cut it. It's not going to affect anything. Mine's just a hair longer. I don't even try cut it. I just leave it and everything's fine. Now let's go back through. Because if you use glue, you're going to feel, it's hard to explain, but you'll feel it. And you need to flatten those out. And I'm going to do it both ways because I want to break those fibers. I want my hinges to be relaxed and I want them not to be stiff. Sometimes when you use a glue, that happens. Now, see, it should be quite relaxed and moving freely. And there's your 5 pages. Now, this gives us some space down here at the top and the bottom. So I did go ahead and mat mine. I didn't want just the cardstock showing. And I had this piece left from when I cut the covers. So I'm also going to use this just right in the center. And I'm going to cut it the same width as my hinges. It's 2 5/8. And then it's going to be 8 7/8 long. No, the pink one I am not. It is not. There is the you have the bubblegum spectrum and what's the other color pink? There's 2 pinks. Bubblegum, and it just left my brain. The light one. The lighter one is what I would use. But this one was some I've had. I did tell you what color it was. In case you were wondering. It's called Pale Blossom. And I bought it some of it years ago. And never used it. Tickled pink. Yeah, there's tickled pink. Thank you. And bubblegum would look really nice. So we're going to attach this down. Oh, you went grocery shopping. Did you find any toilet paper? Okay, I don't understand the toilet paper thing, but what I don't understand is why they can't manufacture it fast enough. I'm right here by Kimberly Clark. I don't know. Kind of a mystery. Wow, they had it. Yeah, I don't need it, but I've never seen any. I've only gone to the store once. Once is enough. Okay, now that that's down, we can add our hinges. Like I said, you're going to notice, and I do fold those two in. You'll have about 1/8 of an inch when these come out. And I do fold those in because it just makes it easier for placement. And you can also use a ruler if you want to make sure it's super straight. Now, there ain't no toilet paper in Utah. Okay, I have issues with that too, Renee. I know they're making a comeback. I just can't. I don't know. We won't get into that on public network here. Okay, use whatever adhesive you're wanting to use. For me, it's anything that's super permanent. And this is super permanent. It's not coming off. Because word of warning, you're not going to get it off with undo either. That's the only thing. Yeah, I'll take toilet paper. I'm just holding these two inside. Hold it wherever you're comfortable holding it. To get it down, eyeball it. Now let's just go ahead and burnish it down. You're using the wet adhesive. It's important that you want to not, really move it till that glue adheres. Oh, Tanya, you did too much work. You know what? I'm at the point where if I don't have it in the house, I don't care. I'm not going to the store. I'm not going out in the public right now. Not because I'm afraid of anything, but people just aren't acting right. Can I just tell you that? My mother's 87 and I can't keep her home. But you know what? She's 87. What do you do? Okay, we're going to let that dry once we get it all burnished and really worked on. So we're going to make our pages. And then, yes, ordering on Walmart is wonderful. Okay, like I said, I already made some of my pages. And because they're bigger, we can't just cut them at 12 and then score in half like I've shown, like I did on like we did last week. So we have to improvise. And this is where most of your paper gets used because you need 5 sheets for the front, 5 sheets, so you need 10 sheets total. But what we cut off, we're going to be using as our flaps and folds. So don't get rid of any of your scraps. You're going to need them. They're going to look like so. And we're going to be using these for pockets, fold, and flaps. So please don't. Yeah. People are staying home. I'm staying home. I'm happy home. So you need to have 5 pieces that are 9 by 8.5. And then you need 5 pieces that are 8.5 by 8.5. Like I said, I've already done 3, so I'm going to do 2 with you on camera. And we're going to put these in our scoreboard. with the 9" across the top, and I want you to score it 1/2 inch. And you're going to do that to both pieces. 9 by, and then score at 8 at 1/2 inch. I know, my mom too. Then we're going to just burnish that 1/2 inch score line. Turn it over. I'm going to miter that corner. And to make this really simple, I'm going to grab my 8.5 by 8.5. Karma, I'm a homebody too. How about if I grab the 8.5 by 8.5? 8.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to be putting this over. You can put this on top. I did not. I like to put mine over the back. Don't worry what side it goes on, because you're going to flip it around. Now, also, when you look at this, if your bottom piece is just a hair long, then you can trim it right now in your trimmer. Just take a little tiny off. But I have the dolly cutter, so I can cut my whole thing at once. The Burgundy cardstock, all the linen is about 87 pounds that I use. And I use it for the full construction because it's linen and it's perfect. It folds nice, doesn't crack almost 99% of the time unless you take your bone folder through it. Now, if for some reason, your bottom piece or your top piece is way too long, just open this up, place it in your cutter, and take that little tiny bit off. That's what's beautiful about this too. You can really fix it. But if you have a dolly cutter or the car, something bigger, then I just place this in my cutter and cut both of them really quick. So if you really craft a lot, having that is helpful because you don't ever have to worry about your pages being off. Let's do it to the second one. So we've already scored. Let's burnish that score line. Miter the corners. And then my 8.5 by 8.5 inch piece. And I just make sure, using my surface, the end that's opposite, that I'm getting it as straight possible. You like that wiggly line? I can't do straight, so I did a wiggle line for you. This becomes my back, and then anything hanging over, just put it in your, open it up, place that in your cutter. I'm just going to use my big cutter and trim it to 8.5 right on the nose. And now everything's even. You're going to do that to all 5 of your pages. So I did prepare the other 3. I'm going to show you how we're going to put these in the book. In this particular style, I do all the pages on the book. I have found that it works really well. Okay, I'm going to start with my first page in this back hinge. And like I said, I want this 1/2 inch score line to the back. For those of you asking where Wilbur is, I have a funny feeling he's on the counter. I can hear him. So here is the edge of the hinge. You're going to hear it. He's going to throw a bowl down the stairs any minute. I have the dolly cutter. And there's Wilbur. I have this big dolly cutter, 550, and it's fabulous because it'll cut through anything. Okay, you notice your page and your hinges are the same length. So I'm just butting that right up. See, it's right up next to that hinge. At the top of your hinge, put it at the top. Line your page and your hinge. And fold that over. Hey, Wilbur. I wish that boy could have a cam on. Oh, hi, Charlotte. Yeah, he's awake now. He's awake now, guys. Okay, couple of things that are really great about this. I did leave the top open on my other album. I'm not leaving the top open. I didn't have as many pictures or anything, and I don't want to have the inserts. If you don't want inserts, then you can definitely close it. And I'm going to close mine top and bottom. If you want the top open, only do this bottom part. But I'm going to now close the top. I'm not going to use any inserts, and I just want my page flat. But I still want it double because you need the strength of 2 pages for an album this big. Keep your adhesive at the top of the hinge. And then let's close it. Should line up just fine. I don't know why he throws the bowl down the stairs other than to get my attention, but he does it about 3 times a day. I don't know. He's done it since he was a puppy. He's just really weird. Then also check if it's not glued down. You can always get the glue tip up there. My edges are now closed. My page is done. Let's go to page number 2. Now, one really nice thing is you're going to line up your pages. Really easy with this method. I'm going to open it first. I'm going to butt it right up to that hinge. I want to keep it straight with the second page. It's not 70 here. It's cold, so you're getting Utah's weather, Colorado. So I'm lining the bottom up. Yeah, we're supposed to be getting some weather, I think. Don't be afraid to burnish hard. If you don't, it's not going to move. So once again, I'm going to close the top. And maybe you don't want to close the top on every single page. You don't have to. That's my fancy curvy line. I'm going to close her. Sure we didn't get any glue there. Now, once that hinge is in there and stuck to the page, when you burnish, it's now like making it become that page because we've now added adhesive. And so it's going to lay flat. It should be laying flat for you. If it's not laying flat, take your bone folder and tell it to lay flat. And page number 3. I always just like to do a dry run here. Yes, burnish, as our craft husbands would say. Line the bottom. If the bottom's lined up, the top should be too, as long as you're going flush against that edge. Hi, Annette. How are you doing? Annette, you need to stay home. I hope you're doing well. Close the top and bottom. Like I said, you don't have to. There's the top and bottom that I glued. Ooh, 75 in California. That sounds nice. It's 50. We've got some cloudies. It's supposed to be nice this fall. This fall. I have fall on the brain because we need to get past spring. It's supposed to be nice this weekend. Like I said, I'm right up to the bottom. Button that right up on that edge. Oops, it's sliding. It's all fixed. Yay, good. I'm glad you're home, Annette. I've been thinking about you, knowing that you shouldn't be out. I've been home too. I only went out once, but I'm okay with it. Okay, let's close the top. I'm going to close the bottom. Make my cute wiggly line here. Oh, I don't want to squish out the bottom. Yeah, you don't have to tell me once to stay home. If you want me to stay home, I'm going to stay home. I'm just that way. And like I said, if you need to, okay, right there, I've got a little area that I need to make sure it's down. So easy to fix. Oh, that's right, Sheila. Well, I'm going to visit you one day, but not today. Okay. Once again, our very last page, no stress. And when you don't have stress when you're creating your projects, and it's just simple, straightforward, easy, you're going to love to create. Teresa, you're going to do it the exact same. I'll leave this one open. But this one is open. I just haven't put any tags in there. So when you do cut your tags, here's what you need to do. If you have a ruler, here's how I create tags. I've been getting to where I do smaller because they come in and out easy. I put my ruler just up to where it won't go anymore due to the hinge. And it tells me it's 7.5, but 7.5 is going to be tight. So I would go with the 7-inch, and I will be making them for this album. And then I stick my ruler down until it won't go anymore. And it's 8 inches. So that's where I can go and have a little bit stick out at the top. And I did leave these open because they don't have to be used for tags. So I figured on this one, my son can use it. And this is something that we don't think about. They'll be getting wedding cards, and they can actually use it to stick those wedding cards in there. So it doesn't have to just be yours. It can be, things like that. So I want to show you something else. Maybe you don't want it to be all the way down. So let me use a white marker to show you this. Not that one, that one's a mess. Okay, so maybe my tags are only, maybe they're going to be little tags like I used in this one. Let me pull one out. So maybe I have some of these tags and I don't want to use a big tag. So you can lay your tag down as to where you want it to stick out. Maybe push up, there you go, a little bit. Make your mark. Close it here and close it there. And then leave the top open for your shorter tags so that it's not so long. You can close this anywhere you want. It doesn't have to be right at the bottom. Well, you do need to do right at the bottom so that you have a nice finished edge. Okay. But then you can close it here. You can close it if you just want to use the little tiny tags, anything you want. So you can definitely customize this one to your needs and to what you're making. For me, I didn't have, you know, when I got married 36 years ago, we didn't have a lot of that extra stuff. And my cards were, I have too many that I'd put in here, but I don't have a ton to put in there. So I closed mine. And also, I just didn't want them in this one, which is okay. So there's our 5 pages. And they're really flexible, really easy to use. And they're nice and straight. And we're ready for next week. So we did this in an hour and a half. Well, if I would have done, it would take 2 hours because I've already, I did pre-make the pages. I didn't count that in, but in 2 hours, you can be this far into an album. Now, when we go to do the decorating of our spine, you're going to see it's going to lay flat. So you have that nice flat surface to work on so that we can create, even when it's stacked full. See, I still have a nice flat surface that we'll be doing this. So this will be the last thing we do. Okay, that is our tutorial today. And I will be on Everything Authentique. Don't forget the Everything Authentique page. I will be posting the cutting guide on Friday so that you can get ready. We're going to do the inside cover and the back cover next week. And because it's so many pieces, that's probably where we'll get next week on the 7th. Then on the 14th, we'll put all the flips and flaps on our page. And I'll have a cutting guide for you on that. And we'll go into the 21st probably to do our cover. Well, thanks everybody for joining me. And I hope that you get yours made. Follow along. And also don't forget the Authentique Timeless paper collection really is timeless. It's just gorgeous. It's going to go with whether you have a new wedding or you have past weddings that you need to make some books for. And now's a perfect time. Bye, everybody. See you next week.